Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. For those of you that haven't been here before, my name's Janice and I'm a Thermomix consultant. So yesterday I got home from a 2-week holiday in South Australia with my grandchildren and my son and wife. And today, because I go back to work Monday, it's Saturday today, because I go back to work Monday, I'm just doing a few house cleaning things, like I'm sorting out the pantry, working out what food I need to buy, and what I've already got. So for tea tonight, I'm going back to when I was a child. We grew up, it's funny how recipes come round again. Like when I was growing up, lamb shanks were something you fed your dogs, or, we always ate them like they were tough and that, but Mum used to just stew them and they were delicious. And they cost nothing, like you get a whole bag full for a couple of dollars, and now you're looking at $10 a shank. But and the other thing we used to cook all the time, Mum used to cook all the time, when we had a few too many eggs, and it was a Saturday or a Sunday night meal, and it was curried eggs, and it was just a white bechamel sauce curry with curry powder, hard-boiled eggs, and then you stir it through, and we'd have it on toast or on rice, but mainly on toast. So tonight, because I've got 12.5 eggs that need using up, I thought I would make something with eggs, but then I also found that I had 3 bags of coconut. When I was cleaning out my cupboard, I've got 3 bags of coconut. And I've been wanting to do this one for a while. I've been looking at making my own coconut cream. Now I've I haven't made this one yet. It's very easy. We're just looking at different ways of doing it. And I've Googled it. A lot of them use fresh coconut. But the ones that say you can use dried coconut, they seem to be of the general consensus that it's 1 part coconut to 3 parts water. So I want a 400 milligram tin of coconut cream. So, and this is different to the milk where you do whatever and then you strain it through a nut bag. This, you leave the whole thing in, which is what I like. I don't want to throw any of it away. I want to just do it all. So this is our final try. And what I've got is some shaved coconut, some shredded coconut, and some desiccated coconut. So I want 100 mils of coconut. And now what most of them do is they mill the coconut down to a powder. A lot of them use a coffee grinder. But we've got a Thermomix, so of course we're not going to need to use a coffee grinder. And then they soak it before they cook it. So that's what we're going to do. I haven't done the soaking one before. I've done straight, and I didn't mill it until after I'd cooked it. So this time we're milling it first, putting the water in, letting it sit. And I've sort of written the recipe, how I'm doing it, into my recipe community, into a draft, and I'm going from there. So let's start off by adding in, okay, we'll go back to the beginning for those of you that haven't seen the TM6. This is our homepage. If we scroll across this way, it gives us all the modes. And so this recipe, the coconut milk, the curried eggs is going to use 2 of the modes. The recipe I've got is on Cookie Do, but it's for a TM5, and it boils the egg in the basket, I think. But we're going to use the egg boiler mode. But first up, let's make the coconut cream. And then I'm not ready to cook tea, so this will give it a chance to cool down. Alright, so we want 100 grams of coconut. So I'm going to start off with this shaved coconut. see what that weighs. Oh, that's 10 grams. I like the idea of making my own coconut cream and my own coconut milk, but I don't particularly want to have to buy fresh coconut because that's pretty hard to get here. But if I can use desiccated, shredded, shaved coconut, I'm pretty happy. So this will probably perfect. And I've still got a little bit more of that left. So this one here expired in May 2020, best before May 2024. That one was, the shaved coconut was like November 2024. So, and now we're going to add, we're going to mill that first. So, did I show you in the bowl to show you there was nothing in there? Well, there is now, there's coconut in there now. And now we're going to mill it for we'll do 10 seconds on speed 10. And see what that looks like. So I found the ones I've made before, it's been a bit gritty, but I'm wondering if doing that will and just breathe the coconut will help the end result. Oh yeah. Now that's 1 part coconut, which was 100. 3 parts water is 300. Right, yeah, and now I'm going to leave that to sit for 5 minutes. I'll give it a stir. And so there was a few recipes that I found that recommended leaving it to sit. Now, I don't know, I assume that would help it absorb some of the water. Okay. Okay. Okay, so if we go back to the home, it doesn't matter, we just go, we find our timer. Get a bit excited there. Five minutes. We'll leave that to sit for 5 minutes and then I'll come back and we will cook it. And I'm going to cook it, I don't know, I just want to see, we just want it on 37 degrees. They didn't say to boil it. Some of them did. Some of them said boil, but some just said to bring up to 37 degrees. So that's what I'm going to do with this, and then I'll have a look and see what that looks like. So how I've been doing it is I've been bunging it all in together, boiling it, letting it cool, and then blitzing it. And it's not bad. It just, you can feel the grains on your teeth. You know, it's not smooth, silky smooth like coconut cream is. So, and it tastes fine. It tastes delicious. Does a good job. I'm just looking to get a more silkier mouthfeel. Rightio, I'll be back. So that's the 5 minutes up. So we just close that and we'll have a look. The one thing I'm interested in is, or there's a couple of things. Does the soaking help? Does it change anything? And what's a good time? I mean, to soak it. Should I cook it first and then soak it? But anyway, so now we're going to cook it for 2 minutes. 37 degrees on what's that, speed 2. And I had a bit of a look on Cookie Doo, but they've got coconut cream, but it was also made with fresh coconut. So I did have a bit of a look at that too, and they mince the fresh coconut up. So if you've got access to fresh coconuts, that sounds good too. Rightio. I'll be back in a few minutes. If you want to stop it from, if you just tap on the screen, that will stop the chiming without pressing any buttons or so that, I don't know if you can see, but that sludge off the bottom has is not sitting there anymore. So that's just like really warm, room temperature, a little bit warmer than room temperature, probably lukewarm. And yeah, it's not it's not just sitting on the bottom anymore with that bit of cooking. Rightio. Now let's mill it, or let's, what would you call it? Grind it. 1 minute, speed 10. So that's the first minute, and we're going to have a look, but we're going to do that again. And I might even do it a third time. Ooh. Hang on. My TV's been updating, it's just started. My TV's been updating its software for ages. It must be like an hour and a half, and it's just decided that it was going to be finished. Right. So, I'll show you in that. I'm going to give that a scrape down, and I'll do it again because it looks like it's a little bit separated. You know, look, it's got that sort of separated look. I'm going to do it again, and I'll have a look at that. I want it to come together as, you know, not have that sort of grainy separated look. I'll do this and I'll come back. When I come back, I'll tell you how many times I have to do the 1 minute for. Righto? that's 2. I'm going to give it another one. You can see the sides there, how it looks a bit like it's not, and I mightn't be able to get it to come together. It might just be how it's got to be. But it's still, I mean, you might be able to get it's still like powdery on your tongue. You might be able to get the desiccated coconut to come down as really creamy, or you might have to soak it for longer, or you might have to cook it for longer. I don't know, so I am going to keep trying. So this is 3. See, it's still, you can still see the grains in it. Don't know, can you see the grains in it? Okay. One more, and then that's it. And I'm going to leave it cool. I'm going to make some notes in my recipe app as to what I did this time. And I'll just say I've blended it 4 times. And I'm going to, when you're doing up a draft, you can write notes down the bottom, and you can actually, when you publish the recipe, you can write notes too. And that's where I'm going to write it, and I'm going to suggest that next time I mill it for longer and I soak it for longer, because that taste is delicious. But I want to be able to use this to make, you know, like your coconut ice cream and that. Okay. One more. And then I'm going to call it good. Rightio. I'm going to call that good. I'm going to put it in this container here, which is actually my container for hot fudge sauce. But when I cleaned the fridge out, there was only a couple of tablespoons left in it. So I tipped it out and washed the container. That was before I went away. So this is actually my mum's recipe. She used to do it. We'd cook it on the back of the wood stove. We'd just leave it there and simmer, and it would just thicken. Wouldn't really be simmer, it was just sit there. It would just, you know, be warm and it would thicken. But I have converted that to a Thermomix recipe. And I have in this container, because you've just got to, before you use it, I pop it in the microwave for 30 seconds just to warm it up, so because it sets quite thick, and you have it warm and you put it over the top of your ice cream warm. It tastes very much like, I haven't had it for ages, but used to get a soft serve with hot fudge sauce at McDonald's, and I loved it. And that haven't had that for years actually, and that's what it reminds me of. So that's our coconut cream. And we'll use that to make our coconut curried eggs later. And the other thing I do wonder is if, because I'm using older desiccated coconut, if that makes a difference. Rightio, I'll come back and we'll keep going with the coconut curried eggs a bit later on. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the curried eggs. Now this says the cooking time is 30 minutes. So I'll do this again for those of you that haven't seen the videos and are looking to learn a little bit more about your Thermomix. I've saved the recipe into my week. So to get to the recipes that I've saved for today, there's the three little menu lines. You tap them and then you get a menu. And I want my week. And in that I've got eggs with coconut curry sauce. Now this is for all Thermomixes, or at least a TM5. And it says to start cooking, you place water, you put the simmering baskets, put the eggs, and they want 8 eggs. Put the lid on, 10 minutes, 120 degrees, speed 4, and that's room temperature eggs. Now I'm not doing that. I'm going to use the egg. So it says remove the simmering basket with the spatula and transfer eggs into a bowl and then set aside to cool. Okay? Dry the mixing bowl. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to the beginning. See, our recipe's still available to us there with the bookmark. If we hit the bookmark, it'll take us back to where we were up to. And this is where we start to make the sauce. But if I go there, now I'm going to use the egg boiler mode. So the egg boiler mode, this is it here, egg boiler. And you've got all the different hardness of the egg. So you've got soft, medium, medium, hard and hard. Now, this recipe, the eggs in this recipe are probably medium soft to medium. But we don't like soft eggs. We like hard-boiled eggs, the ones that the yolk is totally dry, there is no wetness in the yolk at all. So we're going to go for hard. But how we do this is you get cold eggs from the fridge, and this is to ensure you get the right degree of cookedness. I don't know if that's a saying or if that's correct grammar. So you're going to put 8 eggs in here and you just put them straight into the bowl and arrange them around the blades. Now we won't eat all these tonight, but what we will do is we will eat them in the coming weeks, in the coming week. So, once you hard boil an egg, it will keep in the fridge for up to a week. So, and now we're going to add water up to the 1 litre mark. Okay. So the inside there, that's, hang on, let's see. That's max, which is 2.2 litres. Then we've got that, which is 1 litre, 2 litres. And then down there it's 1. Right? Then we put the lid on and we want them hard. And that's all we do. So when it's in egg boiler mode, the blades don't go round. So you've got to make sure that you actually select egg boiler mode. And I'll be back once our eggs are cooked. And we have to dry it, clean and wipe out and dry our mixing bowl, and then we'll come back and we'll continue on with the curry sauce. Okay, so our eggs are cooked. Hang on. Eggs are cooked, and we're just going to strain them into the mixing bowl, strain them into the simmering basket, and run some cold water over them, and then let them cool. So I'm going to let them cool maybe for 15 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll start on the sauce. Okay, so I decided not to worry about letting the eggs cool down. They can cool down a bit while the sauce is cooking, but after that they probably don't need to be totally cold to go into the sauce. So first thing we're going to do is, it says 150 grams of brown onion cut into quarters. So this is the only brown onion I have. So it's going to have to be enough. It's 119 grams. 2 cloves of garlic. So that's the last of my garlic. 5 centimetres of fresh ginger. And 2 fresh long red chilies cut in half. Now that's just one, and it was a fresh chili that I had deseeded and frozen. But that's all the chili we really want in there anyway. I love hot, but my family are not so much, so I tend to cook to their taste in heat. And now we're going to chop that for 5 seconds on speed 7. And then we're going to scrape down the sides with a spatula. That might be a hot chili. Now we're going to add 20 grams of ghee. Now this was, I did do, I'm sure I did a video where I made my own ghee. Very easy to do. And it is definitely a money saver if you make your own. Okay, half a teaspoon of ground turmeric. Teaspoon of garam masala. I'm going to have to get a new teaspoon measure. I cannot find my teaspoon measure for the life of me, and I love this set. I'm starting to think I've thrown it out, dropped it into picked it up, in the scraps or something and thrown it out. A half to a teaspoon of salt. So let's just do a rounded half teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And now we're going to put the simmering cup on top, the simmering basket on top. I'll have to get it because I've got the eggs in it, so I'll have to take the eggs out and pop it on top in a minute. Then we're going to cook that for 2 minutes, 120 degrees. Speed 1. And then once that's finished, I'll bring this back and we'll keep going together. Next, and now we're going to add our coconut milk, which we made earlier. it's thickened up a fair bit being in the fridge, but it's still, oops, if you can tell, it's not real smooth and creamy, but and some of the photos I see of the homemade looks really nice and creamy. So I'm hoping we can get there and that it's not something I have to use fresh coconut for. So, okay. So that's 369 grams. Lid on. Oh, it just smells yum. 5 minutes, 120 degrees, speed 3.5. And then we'll see, this is step 25 of 30. You can see up here, it tells you it's step 25 of 30 and the recipe is eggs with coconut curry sauce. So we can preview the next step. It says to remove simmering basket, insert measuring cup. Then next, we're going to 10 seconds. And then we're going to, okay, then we're going to cut the eggs in half. Transfer them into the serving bowl and serve, pour coconut curry sauce over the top. And it says to top with fresh coriander leaves and fried shallots, not adding the shallots. Okay, we're not adding the coriander, but I have got these fried shallots. Next, so we're going to take the lid off. I'm just going to show you what this looks like. Oh, that looks delicious. Let's get this scraped down. It doesn't say to scrape this down, but I'm going to, because I have a feeling we're going to blitz it. Pretty sure that's what it said. 10 seconds, speed 9, oh, speed 4, and then we're going to go slowly up to speed 9. Okay, so now we've got our eggs here. And we've got to cut them in half. So, I mean, and that's what a hard-boiled egg looks like on using the egg boiler mode. Now you don't have to cut the eggs in half if you don't want to. You can cut them into rings, you can leave them whole. And especially if they're only, you know, soft in the middle, you might want to leave them whole so that when you serve them on the plate and you cut into it, the yolk runs out on your plate. Oops. Oh yeah. Okay, and so now we're going to pour this over the eggs. And And that was a nice, quick recipe that took a little bit more than 30 minutes to do. If you don't take into account the time it took me to make the coconut cream. Now, I mean, you can eat this with rice or, I mean, when we were growing up, we always had curried eggs on toast. We rarely ate it with rice, sometimes, but yeah. So I am just so looking forward to tasting this sauce. Okay, let's give it a taste. I'm just going to taste it on its own, and then I'll have a taste of the egg with it. So, very nice. That is that half a chilli I chopped up, had no membrane or seeds in it, and it was still a little bit spicy. So that's a little bit of egg, a little bit of white, and some curry sauce. Let's give it a taste. I'm not going to say that that reminds me of the one we had as a kid, because it doesn't, but that is really, really, really yummy. And we might start introducing curried eggs back into our Sunday night or Saturday night dinners. Rightio. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please give it a thumbs up, pop over to my channel and subscribe, and I really hope I'll see you next time.